Coming up on today's episode. Good afternoon, YouTube. Here with you at the bench once more. I am doing a dedicated, and I do mean dedicated, flap today. I decided to... I haven't done one for a while, and I've got some stuff to talk about, so why not? I'm just updating my computer while I was sitting here. Let me cover what I want to cover first. These are, well, I say these, this is one of the two cases I bought for the stereo amp, the 20 watt stereo amp. Like I said, these are, I think, are going to be big enough, and I think they're going to work out really nice. They got fronts and backs to them, and tops and bottoms and all that stuff. There's screws inside there. I'm going to work on that. I got to wait on the boards, though, before I can do that, because obviously I have to know, basically, you know, the sizes and things like that to be able to do that. Now, that kind of brings me up to the other topic of my discussion here. Let me get this down just a little bit. Like I said, I don't want to have to sit up in my chair. So anyway, trying to also look at the clock, make sure I'm not going to go overtime with this, and hopefully the camera will keep working like it's supposed to. You guys both know. You guys all know that Bob and I, you all know Bob, have been doing a business, BD Electronic Kits to be exact, since March, officially since March. And when I say officially, that's not even official, because we've been doing everything with my Social Security number, and you know, that's not how we want to do it. This has been an experiment. We're going to call this a 10-month experiment. So, you know, once we have gotten to the end of our 10 months period, we had roughly $150 to our name as far as the business was concerned, and that of course doesn't include inventory and things like that, but that was actual PayPal money, money in the bank, money in my hand. There were some cash things that we did a money order, and we had another person send a check, and so that's like $50 right there. That's kind of in our hands and stuff like that. It's never been well, the one of them has, but the other one has. But anyway, long story short, we've got basically $150. So that's, you know, between the two of us is $75 a piece. So that's what we have. That's what we have to show for basically 10 months of work. Now, that may not seem like much, but we haven't taken anything out of the business as far as personal money, things like that. And again, that's the we've just been putting everything right back into it and building up inventories of parts and building up, you know, making new projects, and you guys have seen some of those that we're working on. And so basically, what we're trying to do is get started this month. We have our, Bob went online and made a general partnership agreement. You have to have that before you can get the tax ID number. I went online and got our tax ID number for federal. Got that taken care of. And so, you know, that's what we've done. Now, we discussed this at length because, you know, at first we were going to try to do a nonprofit and just not have to worry about the taxes and things like that. But it, you know, to incorporate as a non-profit, it was going to cost anywhere from $1,500 to $2,500 for the paperwork and forms and everything like that. And we decided against that, obviously. We don't have that kind of money. But, so then we thought, well, you know, we got to look online. There's a lot of people that operate their business as a hobby, And I thought, well, that would be what we want because we're not out to make money. We're basically doing this to keep ourselves active. We enjoy doing it, and we like to be able to buy parts and experiment with them, and that's what we're doing. And it allows us to do that. And so we thought, well, that's the perfect solution. It's a hobby business, no taxes, no whatever. Problem with that is a year ago or 2 years ago, I don't know which one it was now, the IRS, in their infinite wisdom, decided to do away with the expenses part of the hobby income. In other words, when you file your taxes and you tell them you had X amount of dollars in incomes, you have no way to account for how much you spent to get that income. So I think we made roughly $2,000 in income as far as, what we taken in PayPal. But at the same time, if you just add that to your taxes, well, you're going to pay taxes on $2,000. Well, you didn't make $2,000. You just basically you got that from what you spent to begin with, and then you made this product, and then all the work that went into it. In other words, you don't get anything for that. You're just saying, oh, our hobby business got us $2,000. It came out of nowhere. It just appeared all of a sudden. So, that's so stupid, but that's the government for you. That's the way that works, or Congress, I should say. Anyway, so we couldn't do that. So we, at the end, decided, well, we'll do a business, try to keep track of our, so we're not going to have to pay a lot. And that's the other thing. The IRS says that if you're in business for 5 years, and you don't show a profit 3 of those years, you've got a hobby. So, you're not going to win either way. So we decided, like I said, to go ahead and start the business and keep track of it. We keep good records and things like that, and make sure that when it gets to be tax time, we don't make too much money. You know what I'm saying? And we don't want it to affect our bottom line as far as the taxes we have to pay and things like that. Well, okay, that's fine. So we went, like I said, and started that process today. Got everything done down to the state level, and we thought, well, we'll just sell out of here. I'll see more like we have been doing, mail everything out of here. So I applied on the state Indiana biz.gov or whatever it's called. Stupid, whatever. But anyway, I got to the part where I put my information in, and I put Bob's information in, and then I put my information in, and I hit the OK because there's 2 of us, partnership, and it came back and says you have to contact this number or whatever because one of the persons you entered has a situation where you can't get this done, basically. And it was me because I knew I had problems with the Department of Revenue. When I worked and retired, the federal government said I owed them, I think, $1,500 for one thing. Taxes were not taken out on my 401k like we thought they were, and I had to end up paying that back. So I did pay that back and got that all taken care of. And then the state popped up with a $16,000 bill. And nobody in their right mind thinks that I owe $16,000 to the state of Indiana for taxes. There's just no way. I don't. So, there's no way I could pay it anyway. I mean, how are you going to pay off $16,000? That's stupid. So I kind of ignored it. Well, they did all kinds of stuff. They put a lien on my Buick, which is stupid. It's not even worth much. Toyota's worth more than it. But so, it's just stupid stuff they've done. And that's the reason I am sure that I can't get the tax number because of, that. So I guess I'm going to have to try to get Bob to get a tax number in Pennsylvania, which is no big deal either because their sales tax rate is actually cheaper than Indiana, believe that or not. So, like I said, that's not a big deal either. But again, it just goes to show you that, the stupidity of the way things are set up is just unreal. I wanted to see what Bob had to say. He's always got something to say. Oh, he's talking about the weather. But anyway, so that's just, you know, what we're up against as far as trying to do the right thing, trying to do this like as it is. Now, you can do this on your own and file an individual tax form and do, I think it was Schedule C. I'm not really sure now. I think there's a difference in seniors and you know, over 65 or whatever. But anywho, there is a way of doing that, and on that Schedule C, you can actually put income and expenses on it and show that you're not making much money, and we're not. We're, like I said, we have actually $150 between the two of us, and you know, they may charge a couple dollars tax on that, but I don't even see that happening compared to, you know, because we're both on Social Security, and I know there's, you know, there's a little bit of breathing room above what I make. So, and I'm sure Bob's the same way. So, you know, it irks me to no end that this country, land of the free and the home of the brave and all that stuff, you know, does what it does to people, and you know, just for the politicians. And let's face it, people, the lawyers are the bottom line of this. For anybody that doesn't realize that, I mean, you know, probably 95% of the lawmakers are lawyers. So, you know, that's where you're getting all this stuff at. And they're lawyers because they want to make money. And to make money in Congress or for the country, they have to raise taxes. That's the only way they can. So, you know, that's what you're left with. That's the people who make the rules. So like I said, it just irks me to no end the way they do you. But again, not a lot you can do about it. So, like I said, until we figure out exactly what we're going to do, we're kind of stuck in a hole here. Not that our people are knocking down doors to buy our kits, but at the same time, you know, it kind of puts a damper on trying to work on stuff like this and develop new kits. And so, you know, until that's resolved, you know, I don't feel like doing anything on it, to tell you the truth. It's just kind of upset, and I really don't care. So, you know, it's just where we're at there, I guess, on our BDEK. And like I said, nothing else going on at all here as far as working on anything. I haven't gotten anything new as far as the radio or anything like that to work on. I showed you the second GE already that I got in, and I just put that in with the other GE that I had over there, and haven't got back into that either. So stuff like that is just, once you have a deal like that, it just kind of ruins your day, I guess, is how I'd say it, and it makes you want to just go back to bed. So, like I said, I had to have some thoughts about doing some work in here on the bench. I think my biggest problem here on the bench is not having a place for everything. You can't see it right now, but over here to the right in front of the HP signal generator is probably a half dozen tools and items that there is no place to keep them. If I had a place on the pegboard, that's where they'd be, because if you look at my pegboard, you see all the tools that I have place for are in place. And that's my problem here, is if I don't have a place to put something I'm working with or working on, then just like this now, you know, it sits on my bench top half the time, which, you know, I could develop it's got a hole at the end there. It could have a little hook on there and hang up. I've hung it up there. We'll just see if I can do it, and it does. It hangs real nice up there. So, you know, it's something that could be done. I just haven't done it. And so, you know, that's just the case of how it is. I want to, like I said, I wanted to go over here to this side that I actually work at 90% of the time and start here with everything on here. Make sure there is a place for every item on here. And that's what takes time. Because you just like this pencil. Well, you know, I've got a box over there that I put pencils in. I've got a place for that. And I was using this to check off things when I was making up BDST kits the other day, and that's why it's out. But like I said, A pencil's not a big, or I said it's a pencil, it's a pen, but you know, that's not a big deal. But you know, these I kind of keep on the bench and don't have a place to put those. This is when I'm making up kits. I use this to cut between resistors and things like that when I'm putting the kits together. Here's an item here that really needs a place to go. This is one of those extensions, and you guys probably have seen them for the hex drive thing. It doesn't really bend too much, but it does bend, and you know, it's just one of those that needs a place to go. So I've got a pair of channel locks over there, or not channel locks, but vice grips that need a place to hang up. I've got a clamp over there, 2 clamps I see, and like I said, there's just things like that that needs, you know, that clutters up the bench. And once it gets cluttered, well, you start putting other things up there, and before you know it, you've got a bench that looks like this side, and there's no way of doing anything with it. So that was my thought on that, as far as getting things organized again, and you know, but I don't feel like doing that. I don't know what it is. I just don't feel like doing stuff, and I went to work with this little MP3 player here, and apparently I've shorted it out because it won't work anymore. And I bought a new one. I'll flash up a picture of it, and it looks like a good one, but I'm going to use it out in the car because I've been using my phone. I've got music on the phone, and it works perfectly. I can, you know, basically go out in the car and then turn the car on. By the time the car thing comes up, and it comes up in Bluetooth, there's 2 little things that it has to connect, make sure that it's connected this way, and once they pop up, you hit play, and it starts playing. And so, you know, that's all you got to worry about, and I kind of like that. So I kind of gave up on trying to use a USB flash drive because those the connection is so poor on the car because it shakes. It you know, it's got vibration in it, and those don't make good contact anymore. And I've got a card SD card reader in it, but I can only get 16 gig cards to fit or to work with that, and that's ridiculous. I mean, you know, 16 gigs is nothing. So, you know, it's just stuff like that, you know, I've been trying to overcome. And, you know, this new MP3 player that I'm going to leave in the car can use up to a 128 gigabyte SD card. And so that should be fine as far as my music collection is concerned. And I should be able to use it to listen to my entire collection in the car. So that's the plan there. And I did even look at new head units. I thought, you know, maybe I can find something that will use a 128 gigabyte card, but I don't think they're out there. If they are, I don't know if they really work, because this one that I bought said it would use 128, but it won't. It uses 16, and that's the maximum I can to get it to use. So, like I said, it's just, I don't know if that needs an update, or if there's a firmware update or what, but I've even thought about bringing it into the house and hooking it up inside and working with it, you know, via the Wi-Fi, and seeing if I could get it to update it and maybe get a better, you know, card in there or something like that. But I don't think it's worth it. It's just as easy, like I said, that MP3 player I bought was $17. It's not that big a deal. I'll just leave it in the car, and like I said, I'll have it hooked up to the charger in the car, or the socket in the car. And I've got the USB sockets in there, and I'll just leave it sit up there. Every time you turn it on, it'll just be charging, and that'll work fine because, you know, it should stay charged up that way. So that's that. I think my time is probably up by now, so I'm going to check. Well, it wasn't up, but it's at 19 minutes, so I'm going to get off here and wish you guys a merry, happy day. Very, very depressing outside, rain, cold. It's just not good. So, hope you guys have better days where you're at and better weather, and we will talk at you later. We will. See ya!